विष्णु ओम तद्विष्णुः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततं पूर्णपवित्रः पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं स बाह्याभ्यन्तरः शुचिः। ओम दैवं तत्प्राकृतं चित्तं प्राप्तापाप्रान्तमभूमो तन्निस्सारपापं चित्तं पुं पठ्यते नमः। ओम सर्वविघ्नानुच्छाय ओम फट् स्वाहा। ओम उपसर्गन्तु ते भूता ये भूता भूतास्थिता ये भूता विघ्नकर्तारः ऐं गुरुभ्यो नमः ऐं परमगुरुभ्यो नमः ऐं परापरगुरुभ्यो नमः ऐं परमेष्ठिगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम नमो गणेशाय नमः। ओम ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्री रामकृष्णाय नमः। ओम शताभिषेकं कर्षितः। ओम पुष्पे पुष्पे महापुष्पे सुपुष्पे विश्वसंतवे पुष्पजयावती श्रीभूतशृङ्गाराचिर जीवशिवं सुषम्यापथेन परमशिवपदे योजयामि स्वाहा। ओम यं श्रेष्ठे स्वाहा। ओम ॐ संपूर्णशरीरं भगवतः स्वाहा। ओम परमशिवं सुषुम्नापथेन जीवशिवं सोऽहं सहस्राः। गत्य सुखं चिरं तिष्ठन्ति ओम ह्रीं पीठदेवताभ्यो नमः। ओम ह्रीं पीठशक्तिभ्यो नमः। ओम ह्रीं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। इत्यस्य मन्त्रस्य ब्रह्मर्षिगायत्री छन्दः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपः श्रीरामकृष्णदेवता विश्वदेवनासेविः। ओम ह्रीं नमः। ओम गायत्री छन्दसे नमः। ओम ह्रीं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। ऐं रामकृष्ण नमस्कार मनुष्य कोशाय नेत्राभ्यां वशुभैं रामकृष्णकृष्णाय ओम ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। ओम हृदयकमलमध्ये राजितं निर्विकल्पं सदसदखिलभेदातीतमेकस्वरूपं प्रकृतिशून्यं नित्यमानन्दमूर्तिं विमलपरमहंसं रामकृष्णं भजामः। निरुपमति सूक्ष्मं निष्प्रपञ्चं निरीहं गगनसदृशं ईशं सर्वभूताधिवासं त्रिगुणरहितसच्चिद्ब्रह्मरूपं वरेण्यं विमलपरमहंसं रामकृष्णं भजामः वितरितुमवतीर्णं ज्ञानभक्तिप्रशान्ति प्रणयगलितचित्तं जीवदुःखास्य विष्णुं धृतसहजसमाधिं चिन्मयं कोमलाङ्गं विमलपरमहंसं रामकृष्णं भजामः ॐ सत्मास्मृत्य सहस्रारच्युतामृतैर्दिवाद्यश्चन्द्रोर्पद्यात् मनस्परिघं विवेदये तेनामृतेनाथमुनिं स्मरणं किं च श्रीघण्टावायुतत्त्वं च चामरं सहस्रारं भवेच्छत्रं शब्दतत्त्वं च गीतकं नित्यं कर्माणि चाञ्चमनसस्तथा सुमेखलां पद्ममालां पुष्पं नानाविधं तथा मायाते भावपुष्पैः अर्चयेत् भावगोचरम् अमायम् अनहङ्कारम् अरागमहमदं तथा नमोहकं मदन्तं च अद्वेषाक्षोभकं तथा अमात्सर्यं फलोभं च दशपुष्पं विदुर्वृथा परमं पुष्पं पुष्पमिन्द्रियनिग्रहः दयापुष्पं क्षमापुष्पं ज्ञानपुष्पं च पञ्चमम् इति पञ्चदशैर्भावपुष्पैः संपूजयेत् शिवम् प्रतिष्ठे पीठदेवताभ्यो नमः ॐ ह्रीं देवोपतिष्ठे पीठस्थो नमः ॐ सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ ऐं सचन्द्रपुष्पं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ नमस्ते सुमनोहरः आधेयं सर्वदेवानां जुजुलं प्रतिदेवताम् सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः ॐ सर्वदेवीश्वरहिताय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। ोक्ता त्वं ग्रहाणमस्मत्कृतं यतं सिद्धिर्भवतु मे देव तत्प्रसादं महेश्वरी। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं ऋतेगन्धपुष्पे सर्वदेवदेवीस्वरूपिण्यै श्रीशारदादेव्यै नमः। ॐ एतेगन्धपुष्पे श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ एतेगन्धपुष्पे श्रीकृष्णपरमात्मने नमः। ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। So we will now do the arati. Let us do the Yogamanda. जय श्री राम कृष्ण देव की जय। जय श्री शारदा देवी की जय। जय श्री स्वामी विवेकानंद की जय। जय बांके बिहारी लाल की जय। So this is the first meeting of this new session. From in the summer we take a break, although we conduct a retreat also, but the monthly meetings are not held in July and August. So in September again we are assembling, and this is after a long time. We are not having Lakshman Thakur and his son Vinay, and the situation actually threatened that even Sandhya will not be able to make it. But that is, an example of grit and determination, which is very, in spite of difficulties, in spite of having, this fracture in the foot, still she has decided to come, and here she is. Very nice, Sandhya. So let us begin with our salutations to Sri Krishna, because that is what we study here, mainly the message of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is considered the image of Sri Krishna made by words. There are images which is a symbolic understanding of God. We, with our human capacity, we cannot really fathom. We may feign that we are understanding that infinite God, all-pervading God, my very soul, and these words are very nice, no doubt, and they certainly are illustrative also, but we must understand our limitations, that we can grasp things only through forms and names. And therefore, even to grasp the principle of infinite, all-pervading, eternal divinity, we make a symbol of it. And the symbol gets further concretized as an image. And then we give human attributes to it. So that is how it becomes close to us. Some time back I got a question by email that the loving God seems to be so difficult because we do not form any connection with God. So we have to form a connection. Like in this world, our love flows through connection. That, like our Shubham says, I love my mom. There is a connection, my mom, my dad, my sister. Do you love her? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So there is connection. Through that connection, the love flows. And that is the natural way that we have a connectivity there. So unless we establish this kind of connectivity, we cannot love God. So, and thus we give a form, and then we have therefore the God incarnations. God coming as human being amongst us, so that we can learn from their life. Because spiritual life is something very practical. It needs a practical demonstration for us to emulate certain ideals and examples. And so we have this human form, God coming as human form, called avatar or incarnation. So let us salute Krishna with the familiar hymn that we use. Vande Vamshidharam Krishnam Smayamanamukhambujam Pītāmbaradharam Neelam Malyachandanabhushitam Radha Chittachapurendu Saundarya Sumahodadhim Parat Parataram Devam Brahmananda Kripanidhi. Brahmananda Kripanidhi. So the one who imparts Brahmananda means the absolute bliss, of which in the world we get only partial reflections which come and go. But that is the absolute bliss. Like if we are seeing the reflection of something, then there must be the thing of which these reflections are. The reflections don't satisfy us. It is okay that if we are seeing, for example, a reflection of an apple and try to grab it, eat it. Can you eat that? Reflection of apple? What, Anupam? No. But it tells you one thing. Since there is the reflection of apple, there must be apple somewhere. Otherwise, how will there be reflection? So, now that is how it tells us, go to the source, the apple. So that is the utility of reflection, that we see the joy, the happiness reflected everywhere in the world. But you go to grab it and you don't get it, because it is reflection. And thus we should see that since these are reflections and kind of deception, because we think that it is real, so go for it and we don't get it. Thus we know that it is not real, it is reflection. But that tells us that of what is that reflection? That is the God. God is the bliss absolute. It is so the existence of happiness in this world, appearance of happiness in this world tells us that there is some source of happiness, and that is being true happiness, it doesn't go away. So that source is called God. Brahmananda Kripanidhim. Brahmananda Nidhim, Brahmananda Kripanidhim, this word can be understood what it is. There is a system of understanding, kind of restructuring composite words. Like Brahmananda Kripanidhim is actually Brahmananda Nidhim and Kripanidhim, both. So there is the infinite grace there. So by that grace, this Kripanidhi, you can get the Brahmananda Nidhi, that the um, total bliss, uh, that storehouse of total bliss also becomes open to you through that grace. So that is what is being prayed for as God. Now, a very important and constantly recurring idea in Bhagavad Gita is the nature of Atman, or the soul, or the reality, or what you can call as the locus of our consciousness. We feel consciousness, we feel that we are conscious, but now where is that consciousness? And when you try to see that, you get to the core of that. You understand that this physical frame, it is just matter like any other matter. So you see that I am not that I, that is not the core of my being. Moreover, it changes constantly. It is a little child and grows and see Sinduri is so tall. So it is, was she so tall when you were born? No, naturally, but it changed. So the body as such keeps on changing. It is matter. I am not that. In spite of this constant kind of experience that I am body, it is not true. I am not body. We can understand it very easily. Every day in a way we understand, especially say, for example, when we sleep and see the dream. The body is at one place, lying on the bed. Are you there? You are doing something else, flying on a unicorn somewhere. It is. So, you are not body, that can easily be understood. So, therefore, the question is then, who am I? This is the, what you can say, the crux where you can find the solution to all problems. Know thyself. That is why even Socrates, that his last utterance is considered that it is know thyself. Knowing thyself will solve all your questions. Most all our problems, all our doubts, all our questions are expressions of this not knowing who I am. Knowing who I am will solve the problems. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita actually begins with that problem. Arjuna had this terrible confusion, which we all have, that I am this body. So these are all my colleagues, friends, relatives, and so forth. My teachers, I am connected with all of them. And so if they die or I die, that means what will happen to these connections, our attachments to them. That is caused by the reason for this painful attachments. Attachments are very painful. Although we try to, call nice names to that, it actually we know that it is such a bondage, such a painful thing. In Bengali, there is a nice song. I was telling Abhijit that day that look, it is Asa Rase Bhave Asa Asa Matra Holo. Do you know this song, Anupam? It is such a very nice, famous song of Ram Prasad, but somehow many do not know this song. It is, and that this is just Asa means two these. There is a kind of two meanings for that. Means coming, and asa means the hope. It is only hope that we live on hope, as it were. Tomorrow will bring happy days. It is, yeah, we hope, keep on hoping. But then we see that all these hopes are dashed. They are going to be dashed, just as hope for getting the reflected apple. It is not going to be, but then we do not accept that defeat because of the ego. So we start calling all these painful things with some nice names. So one line in that song says, "Neem khawale chini bole." Means is eating that bitter neem leaf, very bitter, but then calls it as if it is sugar. Neem khawale chini bole. So, although we feel the pain of these attachments here, we give them nice, good names. So, because of not having proper understanding and of our true nature, the Atman, so that today I have taken up that topic for discussion. It is a very important topic because all that we seek in life actually depends on answer to this question. Uh, it is that who am I? It is once you get the answer to this question, you got all the answers in life. Nothing remains to be known then. And that is one of the questions in Mundakupa, that in Upanishads. Mundak Upanishad begins with that question. Kasminnu bhago vinyate sarvamidam vinyatam syat. What is that in this world? Knowing which everything becomes known. And then I'm not going into the details of the discussion, but the conclusion that was provided was Tameva ekam janatha atmanam anya vacho vimuchyata, that you know only one thing, the self. Know that everything becomes known by that. All other things or that you think of knowledge, they are just the words, nomenclatures, vacho, anya vacho. It is all different names. Like you have clay, with clay you make several types of pots. It is just the clay that is given shape. So one shape you call cup, another shape you will call jar. But what is it? The names have been given, Vacha, Anya Vacha, and then says give up attachment to that. Try to see the essence of it as clay. So to see the essence of everything as the Atman, the Self, it changes perspective so much and so quickly. All the problems, they just then disappear, they fall out of the veil. It is it is clay. I and you are doing like this, I am doing like this. I am good, you are bad. All these ideas come because of this erroneous understanding that I here and I there, they are different. They are not. They are one and the same. When you go to what is the inner reality, like if a clay pot, one pot says, I am so good, I look so pretty, so nice. That fat jar, I am such a nice cup, I look so nice. That jar just boasts about its bigness, no use. It is so. But what is that jar? It is clay. What is the cup? It is clay. So, you see that fight, that jealousy, hatred, all that eats into our vitals, and that just disappears by this wisdom. So Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna had a problem, and very big problem. That is what he was in such a confused state, confusion, confounded, and didn't want to listen to Krishna. Although says that I am your disciple, please teach me. That is how our ideas are. That it is we go to the teacher. Tell me what should I do. But even before the teacher tells, I am not going to do this. So that's why you need a teacher. That is the confusion. That what needs to be done, you don't want to do that. And why? Because of attachments. Attachment, likes and dislikes. They are born out of that attachments. That just 2-3 days ago, I went just as this is Hillel House and Providence, there is the Brown University connected Hillel House. Wonderful, I have many friends there. So I went there to give the poster of our today's program, that Universal Brotherhood Day function. And I met a rabbi there. We know each other for years. So he just asked, do you go to travel this? I said, yes, I travel many times, not just in summer. You like traveling? So I said, what is there to like or to dislike? If I have to go, I go. There is nothing like and dislike about it. It is... So he asked me, how do you get over this like and dislike? Because this like and dislike become a problem, because what I like now, I don't like later. So, but then what you like, you make a commitment with that. I like this. But you are stuck with it, then the liking has disappeared. But you get bound by that. The children, they want toys. Very much. I like this toy. How long? For a day or so. Then they lose interest in that. With much smaller children, babies, they liking lasts for say half an hour or so. That is over then. But then the toys are there. They occupy your precious real estate, So what to do with that? So it becomes thus in life everything. You like somebody, form a connection, a relation, the liking goes away. But like that, painful things. That which brought pleasure also brought pain. So, how to get over this like and dislike? I said, see, you get over things by seeing how you are put to disadvantage by that. Like, say, I like to take salt maybe, but it is not very good for me because of the blood pressure and other. So even if I like, I don't take it. So the consideration of right and not right should supersede the likes and dislikes, because right and not right is more durable than likes and dislikes. So one has to change, learn to change that. So that is how gradually you see you get over that. But this creates lot of otherwise attachments. So Sri Arjuna's problem, they like an expert doctor, Lord Krishna analyzes the problem. What is the problem? Attachments. And still further behind that, the attachments are caused by the wrong idea about who am I. So the attachments, they were caused by the wrong understanding of who am I. So Lord sees that that correction has to be done there. It is the symptoms appear in one way, but a physician, if the physician is expert, knows that just treating the symptoms is not going to cure the disease. It is what is causing that. Let me go deep and find out what is the cause of it. Like Sandhya has the broken foot, there is a crack there. Now, looking at the skin, you don't see the crack there. So, you have to go deeper that, oh, there is the problem. Now, treat that problem. Treat it there and it gets corrected outside also. The pain goes away. So, the attachment is also caused by the wrong completely, what I should say, unreasonable, irrational idea about who I am. So just apply our rational faculty to see this. So Arjuna didn't want to fight because addicted with this wrong idea, I am body. No, you are not the body. So this is being shown there with, look, analyze. A beautiful verse comes here, I think it is 12th verse or 13th verse, that there is this Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tada tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra namiyati. Just as right in this body you have childhood, kaumaram, yauvanam, a young person, and then the young adult. Then you have an old person. Now the childhood dies to give the youth. The youth dies to bring the old age. Similarly, the old age dies to usher in the change of the body. The body as such is changing, but we feel some sense of continuity. That also breaks at one point, but you do not die. When it was a child, you died when you became, say, 15-year-old. You became then a young adult. You as child died. Then you as young adult died. You became an adult. That also dies. You become an old person. You may not like it, but that is the case, what can be done, that you become old. And that also then you as old die and you take another body. And the story repeats. So do not get attached or identified with the body as I. Dhiras tatra namuhyati. Dhira means an intelligent person, a wise person does not get perturbed by this. That yes, just as these were the changes in the body, this is the next link in the same chain, that the body has to go, another body has to come. So, like your shirt you have been wearing for quite some time and gets worn, worn and then torn, and then you see that now it has to be retired, thrown away, and then get new one. So body is what? Just an inner shirt, that's all. So it also undergoes all these changes, and one day has to be discarded. So that is, then you have what is called the subtle body, which is far more durable. And then, therefore, this gross body, it is short-lived. So you put it aside and take a new shirt, a new body. So new body is taken up. That is, so don't worry about it. The body is meant to be like that. It has to go somewhere. And so make use of the body. Don't worry that it will go away. It is to go. But it is to go even if you don't use it. So use it for the right purpose. And happy that when it is going, it is on its course. It is, so it is, the nature of the body is like that. If you, we had one Swami, he would usually remain just without putting on a shirt in the room and all. And even while going just around here, he used to have a wrap around his person. And then he was, one day, when he would go out on the streets, and he would use the shirt. So naturally the shirt didn't have much wear and tear. So he was going to get a new shirt made, and told another Swami that, see, I think this shirt will be the last of my shirt in this life, because I am 72, and then my earlier shirt, that was stitched, that was made when I was about 50. So it lasted so many years. Now 72, this shirt, how long it's going to last, the body will fall before the shirt falls. So that Swami, other Swami kind of retorted, what if you don't use, it will last forever. In the museum, that Sri Ramakrishna shirt is also kept. It is still there after 100 years. So what does it matter? It is. So use the body, let it be worn, torn, discard. If you don't use it, then even if it lasts, what is the point? So use it for the right purpose. And human body, its purpose again and again it is brought out in Bhagavad Gita, is to realize the truth that I am ATMAN. So it tells in this verse the very beautiful way that in Bhagavad Gita it continues in many other verses, other chapters as well, that how to judge what is real and what is not real. Nasato vidyate bhavo नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोर अपि अंतस दृष्टो अंतस tattvadarshibhi. That those who see the truth, tattva, Ranganathananji in this book has given a very good discussion of what is tattva and what is mata. Means what is the truth and what is opinion. What is the essential aspect of that truth and what is the opinion. Matam is opinion. So, tattva means thatness, the truth of it. So, how to find it out that which is unreal, na asatah bhavaha vidyate. That which is unreal is never real even if it appears. Even if you are seeing it, experiencing it, it never is. Also, that which is never becomes not, even if you are not seeing it, it is there. Just because we are not able to see God, does it mean God is not there? Sri Ramakrishna used to give a very nice example. Now if you go out and look at the sky, you won't see a single star. Why? Because there is the dazzling light of sun. So how are you able to see the stars? Does it mean the stars are not there? They are there, but you are not able to see them. So similarly, the God, the all-pervading reality or the self is there, but because we are dazzled by the appearances, the attractive appearances, they just dazzle us, and therefore we do not see the truth. So the way is in a way, simple. That which keeps on changing, that is not real. That which does not change is real. Apply this litmus test. It is in our chemistry studies that topic used to be there. Use litmus to see whether it is acidic or not acidic. So use this test here, that whether it is real or not. If it changes, it is not real. And then another test is provided, that if it has name and form, that name and form is always subject to change, and therefore that is not real. Something that is hidden under name and form, that is real. Like the clay is real. The pot, it was, the clay was shaped like that, and the pot breaks, etc. But the clay remains. So similarly, that truth remains, the self remains. So this is an important thing described all through Bhagavad Gita. And in the second chapter, when towards the end, this discussion comes. Suppose what happens when somebody knows this truth, gets established in this wisdom, then how the life changes. The appearance still remains the same, not that you will develop two more arms like the Lord Vishnu is shown, with four hands, or Ma Kali is shown with four hands. By realizing truth, not that two more hands are going to come there or two horns are going to come. That is what Holy Mother said. If somebody becomes a God realized person, what happens? Do two more horns emerge? No, no horns emerge, but the life becomes pure. there are no desires there. That is the essence of the reply of Lord to Arjuna's question as to how practically the life changes. We started by saying that this is a very practical thing. What happens when one realizes God? Hmm. There is that before and after, isn't it? Before and after that exercise machine. Before a very fat, bulky fellow is shown. After, in between that exercise equipment. And then after that, this fellow, after, a slim fellow. So it is. It is said that that ad was nice, but the one who did it was fired. Why? Because that equipment was to be sold in the Arabic countries, where they read from right to left. So what would have been the message, you can imagine? Before slim and afterwards fat. So it is before ignorance is gone and after ignorance is gone, what happens? That practical life changes. The question was all about practical life, as to how this wise man walks, that Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. See how beautiful these questions are. He is not asking Arjuna, he is asking just most daily practical things, that how this person who has now seen the truth, does that person now starts walking on the hands? No. What change happens? How does he walk? How does he sit? Kim asita vrajeta kim. That how that fellow walks, how that fellow sits, how that fellow eats, how that person talks. It is nothing changes outwardly. What change comes inside. What change? Lord says, Rajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. That all the desires have been abolished from the mind of this person. Complete abolishment of desires. Why? Because the life is fulfilled, filled with tremendous joy. So why should there be any desire? The desire is because desire is a sign of pain, I want that, I don't have that. So that is what you desire for. I want that. So you feel a lacuna, as it were, without that. So, but here the person is fully blissful, just brimming with bliss. So what does he want? There is no desires at all. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. O Partha, all the desires are gone. But that doesn't mean that person is not happy. We sometimes feel if the desires are gone, then how can I become happy? Because the source of our happiness we trace to having desires. Like I was not feeling happy, then I thought, let me take a nice cup of coffee. So you go and get a cup of coffee. Then you feel happy. So you see that what happiness, the cause of happiness was that cup of coffee. And why did I go to get that cup of coffee? Because I had the desire. Had I not had the desire to go for coffee, then I wouldn't have gotten the coffee, and then I wouldn't have been happy. So if all the desires are gone, the life will be such a drab, sad life. It is completely illogical argument. See, before the desire to have coffee came, you were okay. That desire created a pain, and after you got the coffee, you didn't get any extra happiness. You came back to the same state where you were before getting the desire. Can you appreciate this? Hmm. It is, desire is like that headache. A person gets a headache and then goes and gets a Tylenol, eats Tylenol. And so, what is the source of happiness? Oh, that Tylenol. So, I must get Tylenol. But to get Tylenol, what should I get? Huh? Headache. That is the desire, headache. So that is that kind of argument, that actually your life will be so full of bliss without any desires. The desires cause irritation, bondage, and all desires really are dashed, and you don't fulfill any desire as such. That desire gives rise to few more desires. So it is thus only one desire can be fulfilled, and that is to experience the truth, the divine. So anyway, that becomes the practical life. Atmaneva atmana tushtaha. That joy. Again, very important difference between this joy and all the so-called joys in the world. It is not dependent on any external situation or external thing. All other joys depend on external thing, and therefore they enslave you to that thing. Like one gets this example, enslaved to coffee, that you have to have it, otherwise you won't be able to function. Isn't it slavery? It is. One gets used to that slavery and therefore doesn't feel like slavery. And the height of slavery is that when you start feeling happy about it. So it is, one gets enslaved by that, and thus the happiness is not in your uh, uh, in your control. It is in coffee's control. Your happiness is mortgaged to coffee. So my happiness, if this my team wins Super Bowl, I give that example because I saw it so many that if that if your team loses, your team means not that you are playing. The players are fine, whether they win or lose, they don't care much. But the fans, the problem is the attachment of the fans. Players actually don't have much attachment to their club. Whosoever gives them more money, and the fans, they are terribly attached. And then if their team loses, then they become so upset, sad. Sometimes they break the TV if they are following it on TV. Now what they fault of the TV? It is, yeah. So it is. They become sad. One of my little friends, I asked how is he feeling now, because I knew that the team that he was rooting for lost. Oh, as soon as he saw that on TV, he just went in the room and has shut the door. He is not talking to anybody. And that is what happens, because your happiness is mortgaged to something else. But this happiness, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushta, it is coming from inside, not depending on any external object or situation. So this is the kind of happiness one comes to when one knows one's own nature of one's truth. I am the Atman, and I am divine. In the 10th chapter, this topic continues in the way, that uh, Arjuna asks the question there that Keshu Keshu cha bhaveshu, that in what different ways can I feel that divine? Then Lord begins saying that Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitah Aham Adishya Madhyascha Bhutanam Anta Eva cha. That feel God like this, that this God is the self of all. Krishna is saying there that I am the self of all. Sarvabhutashaya sthitah. Even if a bug is biting you, in your body and the bug's body, both the self is the same. Same self is in the bug that is biting you, and the same self in your person as well. Sarva bhutashaya sthitah. And I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything. All right, like imagine, think of an ocean. The ocean is in all the infinitely many rising and falling waves. The ocean is not different. This ocean in that wave and the other ocean is in that wave. No, same ocean is vibrating, pulsating in and through all the waves. So God is like that. Pulsating through all these forms. Just it will help so much if our, say for example, Shubham thinks like this, that this is my body is the God pulsating like that, like the ocean is pulsating through waves. The wave rises, grows, and falls back in the ocean. So this form comes from God. It is God. And then falls back into God. The God is the reality of it. So Aham Adishya Madhyasya, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all these. That reality vibrates, that Atman, which cannot be killed, that cannot be transformed. It doesn't become old. It is the always the oldest and the newest, because it pervades all the old things and the new things as well. So therefore, it is beyond all that and is pervading in all that. So that is the Atman right here. This is all Atman. One has to see that is the truth, and then that will bring the life to the stage where now you are a saint. Why it is called saint? Saint in Sanskrit the word is sant. The word sant in Latin and then therefore in English became saint. What is the idea of a saint? Santa is the one who sees the truth and therefore cannot hate anybody because sees the same self in all. How can such a person hate somebody? Cannot hate. So you see that in the life of saints, They do not hate anybody. They love everyone because they see the same self, same reality in all. Thus, we come to this state of practically having the feel of oneness with everyone. So you then never die, you never say get old or die because you are in all. So one form may get old, one form may die. It will be like you uh, clip the nail. Do you die because of that? Nothing. The nail is gone. That's it. I am alive. So it is the bodies, they come and go. You don't die. So this is the wisdom that one gets by meditating on this great topic as to the nature of self. It is, so let us hope and pray that may God bring this illumination, this wisdom in our life. Now good, somebody brought this nice picture of Krishna. Is it from your collection? Nice picture. Yeah. And because we had the celebration of Krishna's birthday a few days ago, so it is, let us see that the wisdom that he has to give, let that come in our life. Any questions? Any questions here? Yes, Sandhya?
The song says, we're all ATMAN. Is it bad to kill like a mosquito or a fruit fly?
It is not bad to kill, but with this awareness that it is, you are just killing another form of you, that's all. There should be no hatred. There should not be hatred towards that mosquito or fruit flies. Without hatred. Oh, they are also having fun here. So it is, do not hate anybody. That is the important thing. Kill without hatred. It is because they are making the life difficult, like you remove the nails, not because of hatred, but seeing that that is causing inconvenience. So without any hatred, one should have that, removing that. Same question, Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, Balram Basu. Balram Basu, he had lot of bed bugs. And then, should I kill those bed bugs or not? I want to practice non-violence. So, should I kill those bed bugs or not? And he could not come to a decision. So, decided to go and ask Sri Ramakrishna. And as he goes there, he saw Sri Ramakrishna was killing the bedbugs. Now no more to ask. It is, yeah, that is true. You may ask things that should I take antibiotic if I have an infection? That also is killing the bacteria, isn't it? Should I do that? Yes, do it. But do not have any hatred and anger, because anger will hurt you. Do not have any ill feeling. Oh, you are doing your work, I am doing my work. That's all. It is like that. Any other question? Is there any question here?
Yes. Absolute question.
Absolute. Hello, Absolute. Didn't hear from you for a long time. And one of the questioners on the net, he puts his web name as Absolute. Come on, Absolute, let me hear your relative question.
How to deal with challenges of getting identified with thoughts, emotions, and unable to focus.
Yeah.
Also, how to be master of antahkaran body, not slave of them.
Yes, these are all, the identification with gross objects is there, but the identification with ideas, thoughts, and the subtle bodies, it is more intense. It is like our opinions, we stick to our opinions, they are our brain children, so it is, that attachment is very strong, not because my opinion is right, because it is mine. So I get attached to that very strongly. This is my opinion, my thought, my idea. So, how to get over that? It's a very good question, absolute. That you have to bring this illumination to the deeper and deeper levels, and it requires practice of this many spiritual disciplines. Then you will gradually see that result, that even the ideas appear as objects, and you learn to be seeing them as, no, they are again the expressions of Atman. And you hear other ideas also, they also you see as the expression of the same Atman. Same self is in them also. Thus, gradually, through practice, one first comes the detachment. And then you see that it is the same self in all. So, thus you become freed from the bondage of your subtle body, subtle thoughts, the ideas, and so forth. It does happen. Gradually, it will, if one practices properly, those things do come. Yeah. Any other question? So let us conclude. Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyat Shastra Vistare Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisrita Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Yani कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. So let us